Alright, and although this is old news, everybody is aware of the recent update to Pokémon Champions. The game has received a whopping 39 new Pokémon, and the exciting news that has been reverberating across the world is that the new Mega abilities have been released, and people are speculating how good these Pokémon are going to be. Today, friends, yes, despite my long absence, I'm still around. I thought it'd be fitting to discuss how all of the new Mega Pokemon fare in terms of their competitive Pokemon viability. But today, however, we're not going to be singing the same old song and dance regarding how they fit into Pokemon Champions. We'll discuss it in the grand scheme of Pokemon, Smogon singles, doubles, alike. So buckle up as we take on a unique dive into all of the new Mega Pokemon that were released. It's been a long time that we've known now what the Raichu form's abilities were going to be, and lo and behold, Electric Surge was announced on X and No God on Y. I'm about to talk about these two Pokemon in a way that nobody, in my opinion, has spoken about them as of yet. I'm going to start off with Raichu X. Raichu X, everybody is speculating it to be a complete failure and a waste of a Mega slot in the grand scheme of things. The obvious comparison that you can make with this Pokemon when it comes to singles is to Tapu Koko. And in the singles metagame, 6v6 singles that is, Tapu Koko has it somewhat outclassed in most areas. Tapu Koko is much quicker. Tapu Koko has a slightly higher special attack of base 95. And Tapu Koko has more HP, alongside reliable recovery and a secondary move to grab momentum in U-turn because Volt Switch is not that difficult to block. And Tapu Koko is free to hold an item and has excellent dual stab. The only compensation that Raichu X possesses is its access to Surf to hit those ground types that are not weak to grass. However, I believe that in singles with the Electric Surge boosted, Raichu X also has the Rising Voltage attack alongside Surf, and not a too shabby speed stat because of the boost of the electric terrain. Despite Mega Raichu X's significantly lower special attack, Rising Voltage is actually stronger than an attack such as Zap Cannon that Mega Raichu Y can go for. As we can see in the calculation, it's ever so slightly stronger in the electric terrain. So I think we can afford to see the second coming of Tapu Koko. And when this Pokemon becomes legal in any other capacity than Pokemon Champions, maybe Generation 10, maybe some other rendition of Pokemon, some side game, be sure that you run your Raichus with special attack rather than physical. Give it the Tapu Koko treatment. Although it will be significantly worse than Tapu Koko, this is the best course of action I can foresee for this Pokemon. Because of its naturally high physical attack, you can still afford Volt Tackle to rip through any special wall, although you're going to be destroying your own Pokemon very quickly at that. On the doubles front, this thing does, unlike Tapu Koko, possess Fake Out, so you can stifle the opponent's turn 1 with your Mega Pokemon, not have it be a waste of a Mega slot. You can threaten them with the Rising Voltage and the Fake Outs galore. It has extreme speed for priority as far as I can recall. So that's another bonus, an encore, something that Raichu wishes it could go for. Mega Raichu Y and Tapu Koko are no comparison. Raichu Y is way stronger, it's got a good ability, and it's got a lot of good coverage options at that. It does however cost a Mega slot, no reliable recovery, weak to every hazard, vulnerable to every hazard under the sun, but that's neither here nor there. Base 160, special attack is quite high in its own regard. With No God and Zap Cannon being in his move pool currently for Pokemon Champions, and a Focus Blast that cannot miss, almost no special wall or special sponge is going to want to come into you, and Zap Cannon's guarantee paralysis chance, 100% chance to paralyze the target, alongside you having a very, very strong Surf to deter any ground types that may want to become immune to the Zap Cannon. Any Volt Absorbers, only Lantern I can think of, dare stay in versus my base 160 powered Surf. Raichu once upon a time did learn Nasty Plot, so this could be boosted into the stratosphere. This is going to be one of the most ultimate powerful special breakers in the tier. But yeah, not much is to be said. Everybody knows how to run this thing. Zap Cannon if you're gonna thud into a ground type, Surf up a Storm if you facing Stall, Nasty Plot and blast them to the next game. And if it's VGC, fake them out, encore them, you name it. Mega Raichu Y is going to be a brilliant Pokemon for the future. I've grouped the next set of Megas in terms of those that I think are poor, average, and those with great abilities. So let's start with the Megas that suck, in my opinion. Scolipede, we needed some hope when the speed drop was revealed months ago. It might have been last year when this Pokemon stats were revealed. Yes, the increase in defense is excellent, but Scolipede has no reliable recovery outside of rest, and Leech Life is not reliable recovery at the very end of the day. Shell Armor was the ability proposed, and the sad reality of the matter is that even if you run Jolly Nature, a +2 speed boost, which is a very difficult feat to pull off with no protection, it still makes you slower than a lot of Choice Scarfers. So the speed boost protect ideas that you are thinking of. It's a gamble, and only a fool will fumble into a position where they allow Scolipede to acquire multiple speed boosts before Mega Evolving. So those are out of the question. Maybe you have to rock it defensively or go all out attacking with Adamant Nature. Yes, perhaps, but the sad reality of the matter is, even after a Swords Dance, Mega Scolipede doesn't have reliable attacks to hit flying steel types, of which there are not that many, but the fact that there are not that many means that they are quite common on many team structures. Skarmory, everybody knows, no type of Scolipede is going to be breaking through, especially since Skarmory learns like Iron Defense and all of that jazz. Corviknight, same deal, Iron Defense, Brave Bird, you name it. Scolipede's defense does render it not 1 KO'd by Brave Bird, to be fair, but those Skarmories and Corviknights, they're not stuck in there with you, you are stuck in there with them. They heavily wall your dual stab, and that is the main problem. Yes, in the correct circumstances, maybe Magnezone support, you can use Scolipede as a late game cleaner, Sword Stance versus some bulky sucker like Slowking, Leech Life everything back. The special defense is manageable and you can tweak the EVs and IVs to whatever nature you desire. It does have Aqua Tail. It did learn Earthquake at a point in time. You could use it as a bulky hazard setter, but yeah, crits, they happen, and it sucks when they do happen, but the fact that you have to pray for a crit already makes Shell Armor basically an anti-cheese ability, and that's not what this Pokemon needed for success. Scrafty, I've lumped in the terrible abilities category. I might be completely incorrect regarding this matter, but Scrafty, in my opinion, everybody's hyping it up. Oh, you Intimidate, then you Mega Evolve and get another Intimidate. In terms of this VGC antics and Pokemon Champions, everybody's been noticing that there's been a lot of contrary Pokemon and defiant Pokemon release. A double Intimidate may be doubling the poison that you are dishing out to yourself by boosting the opponents, super boosting the opponents with your Intimidates. On the plus side, if you do end up pulling off an appropriate double Intimidate in a singles metagame, you do not need HP on Scrafty, and base 68 speed is slightly better than what regular Scrafty had. So with a Jolly Nature and a much improved attack stat, when you compare it to regular old Scrafty, let's have a look quickly at regular old Scrafty. Base 90 was way too pathetic. You needed double, triple Dragon Dance, and base 58 speed, you needed to run Jolly if you wanted to be faster than quite a few things. But then you are lacking in power, and if you ran Adamant, you are quite slow. So regular Scrafty, way too slow, way too weak. Now that the defensives have been amped up and the attack has been jumped up to 11, The slight speed boost is a welcome addition to Dragon Dance's faster than many choice scarfers. Not a lot of relevant ones, but many, which is a plus in its own regard. But the typing, any Moonblast at least is quicker than you, which is not a difficult feat to request from the opponent. They're gonna 1 DKO you. Luckily you do have poison jab. If you can get enough Dragon Dancers, you can jab them and whatnot with your defenses. You're not really going to get 1-hit KO'd by a lot of attacks, even some super effective stings here and there depending on your investment. You might even live some hurricanes here and there. But think about Pokemon like Scarf Enamorous, which doesn't exist of course in Pokemon Champions, but in the general sense, something like Scarf Enamorous, completely quick. Also it possesses Contrary, so the double Intimidate is actually going to give it a boost to its superpower if it wants to be rocking superpower in its arsenal, which it doesn't often do these days, but it's quite quick with the Choice Scarf. You'll need to acquire multiple Dragon Dances and 1 Moonblast, boom, dead next. The final disappointment in my opinion is Malamar. It's not much different from regular old Malamar. It's tankier, that's for certain, but fairy moves still have its number. It's still got the Contrary ability, which is... it's okay, it's a decent ability. But the only Contrary move that it still maintains is Superpower, boosting its defense and physical attack. And it's a non-stab attack that has clear immunities in Ghost, even though Ghost is weak to its Dark Stab. Well, Malamar is a Pokemon you need to get the ball rolling with. And that's very, very difficult. There's no natural way to boost its speed with any setup moves or whatnot. So you have to rely on gimmicks like Sticky Web, so you are stuck at that base 88. A lot of things are going to eat you for breakfast if you're only base 88, and Malamar often does not run max speed or any speed at all just to maximize its opportunities to sleep talk it off and fire off superpowers. Very gimmicky, very not so good. Yes, in Pokemon Champions, as people are theorizing that this Intimidate heavy metagame, it may have some place it could function because it doesn't easily get 1-hit KO'd by a lot of neutral attacks, but 4 times weak to U-turn in a singles metagame, no thank you. Ugly design as well in my opinion, so that just adds insult to injury. But we move. Next I want to move on to a section of mediocre Mega Pokemon in my opinion. These Pokemon could be better, could be worse. People were clowning on Mega Pyro, and the ability, it kind of did save it in some regard, but it is however very gimmicky, but the gimmick is quite worth the sacrifice in some cases. In the sun, nothing's gonna hurt like Mega Pyro's Fire Stab. This is on Charizard Solar Power, Houndoom Solar Power levels of power, and we all know how powerful that can be, but it requires an insane amount of preparation and team support to get the ball rolling. Unlike Houndoom and Charizard, however, Pyro has its power innate, drawn from the main. Fire main, 50% boost to the Fire Stab, which is good. Scorching Sands, it still retains to hit Heatran, even though it won't be doing it for a lot of damage. It still is something worth noting. This is going to be a lower tier Mega in my opinion. It's not that difficult to outplay Fire Stab. Even Fire Stab, that 2-hit KOs, it resists at the very end of the day. No boosting move to speak of on Pyro means that what you see is basically what you get. This Pokemon is Stealth Rock weak, it is weak to Toxic Spikes, it is weak to Spikes, Sticky Web, although speed stat is great, it is weak to a lot of priority attacks, Aqua Jet, Mach Punch from something like Conkeldurr, for example, neutral versus Sucker Punch. Yeah, not the squishiest Pokemon, but not the tankiest either. A jack of all trades and a master of none, basically, and that does not make a grand Pokemon at the end of the day. So yes, it has the power to rain supreme fire, but you're gonna have to put in that work. It's not a lost cause, however. has obvious weaknesses but can dish out some damage in response, and it requires no boosts to start the explosions. Unlike something like Scolipede and Scrafty, you need Swords Dancers, you need Dragon Dancers, you need bulk ups. You need superpowers to be fired off for Mega Malamar. This thing from the word go can just click overheat and rip through somebody. No questions asked. That's why I put it in the mediocre section. Final one in the mediocre section. Mega Phalanx. The problem with Phalanx was that it had poor stats. For the move, no retreat. Let's have a look at Phalanx quickly. Base 75, it's so slow. You needed to run a Jolly Nature, but that's way too slow. A lot of Choice Scarf was slower. And base 100 attack, that's not been good for a long time. It's been average for a long time, to be fair. But Mega Phalanx possesses a very high base 135 attack stat that's higher than Sizzle, a decent 100 speed. Its speed ties Salamence. In fact, that is Salamance's attack and speed stat, to be fair. And unlike Salamence, it is Intimidate immune and welcomes and Intimidate or any kind of dropping of the defenses or dropping of any stat caused by the opponent in particular. With no retreat boost giving it an Omni boost, its defenses are not too shabby. And on a Sticky Web team, I can see this Pokemon doing not too bad. Unfortunately, I don't think no retreat is the sweeping set that everybody thinks it is going to be. Swords Dance is probably your best bet to power through the opponent's Pokemon. But yeah, everybody gets scared when they start seeing no retreat. Once you've activated this, if the opponent has a Scarf Fairy type, I've been saying Scarf Fairy type, not only Scarf Fairy, but Scarf Psychic type, it's doom on you. Or even a Sash Pokemon that can sting you for super effective damage. It's over for your no retreating antics, and you've lost your entire Mega Pokemon. The reason I lump this in with the mediocre Megas that have been released thus far is Defiant is probably going to be procced a lot more than people are anticipating, especially in Pokemon Champions. And if ever it came to pass that the singles metagame became very defog heavy once more, oh my gosh, Mega Phalanx is going to have a field day. But yeah, a good Pokemon, but clear obvious weaknesses, but a clear obvious playstyle that is pretty powerful on the correct day. Not much team support required, but it can't really do it all on its own. It doesn't do all of the heavy lifting itself. And finally, let's talk about some Megas that are actually going to probably make waves in singles, doubles, any kind of format, you name it. Staraptor, very cool design in my opinion. Our fighting typing to get rid of that Stealth Rock weakness, now Stealth Rock neutrality, immune to all of the hazards under the sun, except the Stealth Rocks of course, has reliable recovery and roost, and the contrary ability to take its signature close combat to the next level. You can run Staraptor max attack, bulky, no speed investment, whatever you name it. It's got good HP, good defensive stats, and very high physical attacking stat. It has momentum, U-turn for momentum as well. What's not to love? Contrary as an ability can be procced in very strange ways. Sometimes your opponents may get trigger happy in certain metagames where they start defogging at random and they give you an evasion boost. Lovely, happy day. Intimidate immune. In fact, it shows the Intimidate the Uno reverse and gains a +1 from that. So you can't slow down its progress. One close combat and both defenses are over 300. That is quite a lot. Imagine that, friends. 350 speed, over 300 special defense, over 300 defense, base 140 attack, that's almost 400, over 300 HP. That is a brilliant Pokemon. I don't know if people are seeing that kind of vision. Let's talk about Electros, Mega Electros. Levitate? No. Let me show you Elevate. Those two eels swimming alongside are hovering it above the ground and force feeding it a boost if they are lucky to claim a KO. Its attacking stats, both of them, are quite high. and with no weaknesses due to the elevate ability. Only the mold breakers can threaten you with an earthquake, and mold breakers are few and far between. So more often than not, you'll have nothing to worry about. If you're worried about status, I do believe this thing, alright, no taunt, but no reliable recovery, but it has a interesting setup move in coil, making your defenses go higher and higher and higher. Very difficult Pokemon to 1-hit KO as discussed. And the coverage options, you best beware and pray that you are guessing correctly versus this Pokemon. And if they save it for the late game or manage to keep it alive till the late game, and alive and healthy that is, oh, those boosts are going to acquire and then you are finished. A perfect ability to increase the prowess of this mediocre Mega Pokemon. I wish to talk about Mega Barbaracle next because this is one of the most straightforward Mega Pokemon to play with. Tough Claws, it retains Tough Claws, so we know what to do. Shell Smash, let it rip. It is now a rock fighting type, so you can flip the script on your defenses at a moment's notice, and its defenses before the smash, even if the opponent is lucky enough to be quicker, they may not always be 1-hit KOing you. The wonderful thing about Mega Barbaracle, unlike its regular counterpart, which also had decent defenses by the way, it was so slow at base 68. Choice Scarfers were outclassing you. Base 88 is a mega difference. There are quite few Choice Scarfers who are quicker than you after you Shell Smash. And best beware if you run Jolly Nature, nobody is quicker than you. You even outrun something like Regieleki. Even Adamant Nature outruns Regieleki for that matter. I think Regieleki's base speed is, max speed is 548 with Timid Nature. But that's beside the point, so everybody knows. Let it rip, stab, close combat. That's about where all the gifts end. The problem with Mega Barbaracle, you might need to run this with Psychic Terrain and a little bit of team support because it is weak to almost every priority move. Bullet Punch, Aqua Jet, Mach Punch. Okay, that's most of them, not everyone. But those are quite common attacks at the end of the day, but the compensation of an attack stat over 800 after a single setup move and defenses that will still not be in the dumpster, it's more than enough to compensate for the clear weaknesses that this Pokemon has. Don't think it will be busted and broken, but powerful threat nevertheless to be aware of. And finally, the Mega Pokemon with the most well-rounded ability is Mega Dragalge. The fans have been theorizing that it will possess Regenerator as its ability, and lo and behold, lucky guess, the fans were correct. Mega Dragalge improves upon Dragalge's stats in every department that matters. The special defense is skyrocketed, and even the special attack is viable now that you do not need to lean on the boost from the adaptability. And adaptability was quite inconsistent because the stabs were quite easy to switch into to resist and to be immune to. Steel type, GG easy. Your poison type that cannot heal has been invalidated. This thing has a switch move and flip turn. It is slow, so you can probably 10 to 1 get the slow switch move and recover the HP that you have lost. It hits like a truck, as Focus Blast to deal with the steel types if you want to. Now your special attack has been jolted up. Bulky on the physical side as well, so at some ranges you can live some kinds of earthquakes from Pokemon, like Spadef Excadrill for example. And even if you get low, you all know how annoying a Regenerator can be when played appropriately by a professional. Switch it in, take it out, switch it in again, take it out, full HP. What's not to love? Just when you think it's dead, it comes back, roaring with the second wind. This is going to be a fun Pokemon to use. It fits on every team archetype, stall, balance, and offense alike, bulky offense and offense alike. And it is also a Toxic Spike Absorber, which is a plus. Being immune to Toxic as a Regenerator Pokemon, it helps in the very long run, as you can stay in for a longer amount of time when 1v1ing the opponents that you are supposed to wall. So probably these four, I believe, are the The only 4 megas that are like, yes, wow, you guys did a great job with these ones. Now that we know what the future could potentially hold for all of these new mega Pokemon, and the speculation is now over, these 4 are going to be in the limelight as time moves forward. But only time will tell. Friends, we're going to call it that. If you did enjoy this video, I know it has been an eternity since you heard any semblance of a sentence from me. But alas, those of you who have remained subscribed to this channel, I appreciate what you have done for me in remaining subscribed. It means so much. You guys have no idea. That being said, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm back, baby. I'm back. For how manyth time, but I am back. Nonetheless, leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We shall be doing a lot more of these. Till next time, friends, we shall be U-turning out. Wow, went lost. But until next time, thanks for watching.